So, how did we come up with Groove State?
Yeah.
Really just going out to shows, not hearing the music that we really wanted to listen to, that underground vibe, and also we had the label plans. We've been thinking about, the future plans of starting a label, but starting it out as a party. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Keshav, aka Duro Sai. I'm a DJ, producer, percussionist, obviously, and a co-founder of Groove Estate. So my musical journey started off with the Redunga, that's the instrument that you just saw me playing. And I started that when I was 7 years old. I've been playing that ever since, so up until even now I still regularly give concerts in the US and in India. And so my whole musical background started with South Indian percussion. And so I didn't actually discover electronic music till I think it was 9th grade in high school. Yeah, so I remember my friend, he showed me back when dubstep just kind of was starting to take its groove here in the States. He showed me some of that, and then I went out. I immediately fell in love with electronic music. Something about the sound, the groove, everything. But from there onwards, I discovered drum and bass, house music, techno, and I think it was my junior year of high school, I saw this thing on Beatport. It was a remix competition. I just discovered Beatport. I was looking through this. It was a remix competition for, I think it was actually one of Tiesto's tracks, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. They had all the stems, and that's when I found out you can actually make this type of music on a computer, which before then I had literally no idea. I thought it was you had to have crazy huge studio setup, all that. I didn't know most people were just doing this on a laptop. So I downloaded Logic, and that was kind of my first, experience with producing. It was just making a really bad remix and in Logic, and then from there onwards, once I got to college, I wanted to take it super seriously. So that was about 5 years ago, and I purchased the monitors, audio interface, all the equipment I needed to record, and yeah, that's pretty much how I got started. And from there, every single day it was just non-stop in the studio. So when it comes to DJing, there's one quote that comes into mind that I can't remember who said it. It was a really long time ago, but they said, play the music that people don't know that they want to hear. So what I like to do is just introduce people to just this weird, vibey music that's not present in the local scene. So I guess that's kind of how initially when I first started DJing, I'd catch the eye of people just by playing music that's not played by anyone else. So whether that be tribal, minimal, deep, anything of that sort, not the standard just flat tech house, which is what you see in most places. So DJing is all about setting a vibe and maintaining that vibe.
Hi, my name is Charles Lilo. I go by the artist name Spock Ninja. I'm the co-founder of Groove Estate, DJ and producer in Orlando, Florida. I currently am signed to a few different labels. I'm signed to Len Jam Records, Big Mama's House Records, Fierce Funk, and Floor 13, a couple locals and a couple European labels.
I started making electronic music without knowing what it was. And then I started figuring out what electronic music was. And then I realized I should probably DJ. So then I started playing out, and then I started going to clubs. So I did everything in backwards order. But yeah, basically about 5 years ago, I started taking it really seriously, 5 or 6 years ago, and picked up all the tools of the trade, started learning sound engineering, audio engineering, got my room treated, started picking up equipment, and then it's just been, One of the earliest shows I played I remember being actually pretty big, was a show at Venue 578, is colloquially known as Firestone. But yeah, I got booked by a local group. It was on a Thursday night. It was a free show. I wasn't expecting too much. But yeah, about 500 or 600 people came out, which is pretty crazy. And it was funny because it was a dubstep show. I got booked as a house and techno artist, but yeah, that's exactly what they wanted for the night. They had me play on the patio for people who were just kind of coming out, and after having a crazy dubstep night. What was funny is at the end there were so many people, actually I couldn't leave the booth. I had to literally just hop over the DJ decks and kind of just scurry out without being able to say goodbye to anybody because it was so packed on the way back into the venue. Grievous State's not there yet. We're definitely focusing more on our patrons and the people who are coming out to listen to the music and the music we play. The stuff we make is a little bit more underground. The stuff we play is, a little bit different, but that's kind of the vibe we try and keep with the shows. We try to keep it, lighthearted in the early evening, and then as it gets later, we try and keep it a little bit darker and kind of carry the groove throughout the night so everybody's having a good time.
So when you're producing, you want to have the cleanest, most realistic sound you can get. Proofing helps a lot with that, as do monitors, acts as a good sound card. So all that's pretty important. And then pretty much after that, it's just once you have like the stuff you're hearing stuff from, and you have something to make the stuff you're hearing sound good, you kind of start building out with stuff like the Beat Step, the Arturia Beat Step Pro, which is a sequencer.
Amazing. Godsend.
Yeah. You love the Minotaur.
Yeah. My baby.
Yeah.
You got their 303 SH
Mm-hmm.
and TR8s always. You can't go wrong with the drum machine. It means houses and techno's all about drums. So if you have a drum machine, then you're set.
Yeah, pretty much anything that emulates the classic Roland machines, the 808, the 909, or the old drum machines from the 80s and 90s that really influenced techno and house. I think like almost all techno music has at least one sound from the 909, whether it be a hi-hat or a snare. So stuff like that makes your job a lot easier. You don't have to go searching for sounds. You're just like, hey, I've got this thing that emulates what pretty much everything's made off of. That helps a lot too.
Yeah, and then knowing your monitors in your room, that's huge. I mean,
That's like, yeah.
it doesn't matter how good they are, but if you don't know your monitors in your room, then you're not gonna be able to produce correctly.
Yeah, just kind of knowing like what they sound like compared to, like what a mall speaker would sound like or your car sounds like, and knowing how to make all those things sound as best as they can. The way you get there is through, knowing your monitors and the way they sound in your room.
All right, another big piece of gear of mine, definitely the SH-01A. It's modeled after the Roland's SH-101, another classic 80s synthesizer. It was initially kind of billed as a bass synthesizer, really popular for leads too. It's notoriously, people kind of came at it thinking it was pretty simple in terms of its layout. It just has a set of faders, and then it just got a single oscillator with different ways to manipulate the voice. This one's nice. It's got a nice 128-step embed sequencer, which makes it really good for just doing stuff without having to have any extra outboard gear. It's also got some effects on it. It's polyphonic in this version, so they kind of made a few upgrades. They basically just made it a little bit more powerful than the 80s one. The synth was used in pretty much every 80s band, a lot of 90s pop bands as well. It's just been known throughout the kind of music production world as just really solid synthesizer that anybody can use for a lot of different purposes. Almost all of my techno and tech house songs have at least one shot from this one.
So you can check out my latest release on House of Hustles called Noise Floor. It's on their Hustle Love playlist, so you can actually get that for free download if you want that. I have some on Len Jam Records, have 2 releases on there, also available on Beatport and All Media. So check those out. Spock Ninja, he's got some bangers out there. I know you'd want to check those out. And together we actually have some collaboration works that I can't say when will be released because we don't even know that, but definitely look out for that in the future.